animation part. So after he was done with his models, which actually we transferred back and forth a little bit. So while you were working on models, I used the work in progress, and then I'd update every time he did an update. Yeah. So kind of like what we're doing at work right now. So these are some of the 2D character models. So whenever I do a character, I do a turnaround, so it's easy for me to see them at different angles. And then this one is the sister. It's the same turnaround, just different colors for the lighting, because she's in the rain in the beginning, so we wanted to try it out with blue colors. And this was helpful just to get like the angles, because for 2D it's always a struggle to make the character look like it's 3D or like that it's moving in space. So that helped a lot. And then for the 3D part, after I got the characters, the first thing I did was do a couple of tests. But this isn't the first test, this is like a few iterations in. But like walk cycle, like he's obviously scared in the new environment, so he needs to be like, have a really stealthy walk. So this is one of the tests I did. And then, what's the next one? So the next one is his quadruped run cycle. So we wanted him to be able to be a normal quadruped, but also walk on 2 legs. So that's why we had also the crazy rig going. And then this is like an earlier gatekeeper design. And it's also not a very good animation test, but I just basically checking if the rig works. And then they didn't all turn out that great. We'll watch some of my worst fails ever. They're pretty bad. Just get ready. But it gets better and better, and I hope the one in the final film looks the best. So what we also wanted to do was include 2D effects into the 3D. And so I did this test for the 2D effects, but we ended up I ended up not doing a single effects pass for the 3D because I didn't have time to. So instead we downloaded a few, and also Eddie gave me some more packages which are really good. So I'm using all those to comp in for the final film too. So I'll leave the credits down below. I hope these videos work. Does that work? So these are going to be like breakdowns of the final shots, which I'll show the final shot first, and then it'll go through like all the different passes. So this is the opening shot where Anna, the bigger sister, comes home and sees Sunny. So the tough part for this one was it took a long time because it's a very long shot and has a couple of layers in it, and then the background took a long time to draw. So this is our animatic, which is pretty close to what the final one looks like already, which is good. So I didn't have to change too much. And my keyframes were actually done on pencil and paper. So I did the very old-fashioned way with the light table, pencil and paper, cleaned it up in Harmony, which is a software for 2D animation. And then all the background is painted in Photoshop, and then I colored it also in Harmony.
Cool.
Yeah. So this one is also very similar. It's a little shorter. Oh, so loud. Can I make it quieter?
So that background is 2D or 3D? Because you mentioned you created a 3D environment at the beginning.
Yeah. So that was for Sunny's room. I'll show you, it should be the next one. Yeah, this one. So basically, because I have that 3D, or not 3D, but that camera move in 2D, and then I originally wanted to use the 3D model of his room to rotate around it, but it would have taken a bit too long to texture it. So instead I just rotated it in 3D and then like traced it a little bit and kind of copied it in 2D, if that makes any sense. So like basically this environment, I was going to render it out in 3D, but I ended up not doing that. So this is the first transition from 2D to 3D, where we get introduced to Sunny once again, but as a red panda character. And for this one, we had to actually go through a couple, like here, we had to go through a couple ideas of how he will transition. So these are a few ideas, and we went with the last one that we will show. This one's really anime. This one is the one we went with. It's a lot of camera rotation. And then here's like very rough like blocking for the animatic, which isn't that great, but it gets the point across. And then here's like rough blocking of the animation without the camera move. And this was one of the first shots I tried to animate for the film, which was probably not the best idea because it's a little bit more complex. So if I would have practiced on a few other shots, it might have been a little better, but it's good enough. So for the 2D, once again, it's like outlines and colors, and then like environments and stuff.
That's in harmony, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's all in harmony except for the initial keys. I did them all like on paper because like for me it's a bit hard to draw nicely in on like my screen. It's a lot easier when I'm like have the paper in front of me and like because it has some kind of texture on it. I'm very picky about that, but it just looks a little bit better, I think. And then if I just scan it in and then I can like it automatically converts your pencil lines to vector lines, which is great. So you don't, so you don't have to do a lot of like fixing, which is really nice.
Did you take pictures or did you scan?
Yeah. So it's like at our school, which was really cool, they had a setup for like stop motion. And then so what I did was I set the camera from top down, put lights on it and everything. And then I took the photos in Dragon Frame, which converts it into like either image sequence or a movie. And then I brought that into Harmony. Yeah, so it was actually photos, but they were like as good as scans because it's the setup was really, really nice. There's just a couple more breakdowns that I'm gonna throw in. Yeah, I liked working on this shot because it was something I thought I could use in my demo reel because it's like very straightforward. You don't need to understand the story to kind of to watch it.
Just action.
Yeah, it's just body mechanics showing that this character, I know how to move a character. I like to like block it out with like keys and stuff, and usually those are stepped for me at least. I know a lot of people don't do it because of timing and stuff. It's easier for them to see it if it actually is all splined out. But I suppose that's personal preference. But also for big camera moves, I suppose it's a lot better to do like with spline because otherwise you can't see the character for part of, like it'll move out of the frame at some point. So the next one is the fight sequence between the boss and the character. So this one was a little bit difficult also because the boss or the gatekeeper, he has 4 arms and I didn't really know what to do with all the arms, so I ended up not doing a lot with them, but basically they're all around the place and it's supposed to feel a little bit claustrophobic. Like the red panda's trying to get through all this mess. So here's again the animatic, and you can see how the character design also changed. So the boss was like an older version, and then here I updated it to a newer version. And then another funny thing is his armor is actually like it follows his legs, but it doesn't have any secondary. So we rigged it so we don't have to simulate it. So it's also like animated to look like it's simulated.